I want to take the first 10 or so minutes of today's message to give you some positivity, to give you some hope, and to let you see what's going on around here at Bridgeway Community Church. We've been thinking about renovations and future fitting our building for a long time, and now we actually have the opportunity to do it. So I want to share with you some pictures and some direction so you can begin to envision what we're thinking about around here, and then I'll pray and take the balance of my time to talk about this first area of emotion that can overwhelm us, and that is the emotion of regret. But let me start by taking you to where we used to be. For those of you who've been around for a while, in 1992, we started in something called the Slayton House, a small playhouse in Wild Lake in 1992. Then we moved to the Howard Community College, where we were for a total of 10 years, from 1996 until 2006, when we moved here to the Columbia campus. It was a warehouse. We took it over. We met in the lobby for 13 months. Prior to that, we were in the parking lot under a tent for a month or so. And then after 13 months, we were able to move into our theater or our main auditorium here. And so that kind of projects and brings us to where we are. But as I talk to you about the future fitting and the renovations, what I want you to hear and what I want you to know is the purpose for us doing this. And that is this: to enhance our ability to move effectively, or to more effectively connect, build, and equip our body using our buildings and all of our platforms for the gospel to reach our vision and our mission. Let me say it again. The reason why we're doing this is to enhance our ability to more effectively connect, build, and equip our body using our buildings and all of our platforms, including online, for the gospel to reach our vision and our mission. Now, having taken you through sort of our history from the Slayton House to where we are in Columbia, you already know we also have our campus in Owens Mills, Reisterstown, where a year and a half ago, we paid cash $1 million to take down the debt that we had there, about $4 million, and we paid $1 million just like that. So God has blessed us. We've had the ministry center, which we closed down. We have Nexus. That lease ends in 2022. We pay about $500,000 a year there. And so when 2022 comes, we're saying, you know what? We're probably not going to renew Nexus. We're going to take that money and put it into this campus here and make sure our youth are taken care of right here as well. So all kind of renovations, or what I like to call future fitting, is happening. Now, in order for me to show you what we're doing, let me show you a picture of what most people see when they turn on to Red Branch Road. This is our building. It took a lot to invest in this building. It took a few $1 million to make it look the way it looks now. And we're thankful for the last 15 years we've been in this building. But you know what? It served us for 15 years, but how do we go into the next 15 or 20 years? Well, you don't know when you're looking at this picture. You don't know. Is it a school? Is it a library? Is it a warehouse? What is it? Well, check out this new picture. This is what it's going to look like. When you turn off of Red Branch Road onto our building, you're going to know that it's Bridgeway Community Church. Is that not beautiful? But everybody doesn't travel in from Red Branch Road. Some people park at Wells Fargo. In fact, the majority of people do. And what I understand is that when people are walking over from Wells Fargo, they're not quite sure what direction to go. Even though we've installed a pavement, I hear that people can trip and slip, and which way is the church? Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Check this out. Look at the welcome to Bridgeway, welcome home sort of archway where people will know you are entering into a place of connection called Bridgeway Community Church. But that's just the outside. What about when you walk into the building? Well, our main doors used to be a whole wall, and we blew out that wall and put in doors and made that the front entryway. But there's a lot more we would love to do, and I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like later. But when you walk into our lobby, this is what it looks like. A big cavernous, open, 6,000 square foot lobby that we were so grateful and still are so grateful to have, because we never had a lobby for 15 years. And so we were excited to have a place where people connect in our lobby. But we've also asked ourselves the question, what's going to remain beyond COVID? Will environmental cleanliness remain? Will open space remain? Will social distancing remain? The answer is yes. And so we're future fitting the building so it will be brighter and bigger and more airy and have more environmental qualities. And it starts with the lobby where most of our people congregate. So here's what the new lobby will look like. Look at the lighting and look how bright it is. And when people walk in, we want them to be able to find their way. To the right will be the auditorium where we broadcast live. To the left, they'll see Bridge Kids. So just look at the openness of that lobby. Now what I want to do is take you to the Missions Cafe. You remember what that looked like? Here's a picture of it. Now, what we're envisioning is that we remove the Missions Cafe, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, and we make that the entrance to Bridge Kids. Very vibrant, very big, no longer two entrances into Bridge Kids, but to make it safer, one main entrance where people can check in and check out. It's Bridge Kids, and it looks beautiful, doesn't it? I just love the design of all this. Now, when people walk into our lobby, we want them to see 4 or 5 big things. We want them to know where the kids are. We want to know where the worship center is. And then we also want them to know about something that's very important to us, and that is the community cupboard. Now, look at the picture of the community cupboard. We have been serving thousands of pounds of food to hundreds of families, even to this day, every single week. And you can see that people go around to the back of the building, and we've put a red awning there, and we've tried to make it as attractive as possible, but it's just not very attractive. Let me change that. It wasn't very attractive. Now check out this picture. Isn't that gorgeous? Now when people come, it's like they will be able to have the dignity of shopping. This is going to be real grocery shopping, but for free. And people will be able to enter it from the outside, or they'll be able to enter through the lobby where they'll be able to see the presence of the community cupboard. And so I'm excited about the fact that people can shop in an attractive place with dignity. Now, back to the lobby, you'll see that there is a space as soon as you walk into the door to the left. We're calling that the Real Talk Live corridor. That currently is where our big map is on the wall, but many of you don't know that behind that wall is the Real Talk radio studio. Oftentimes people think that we're broadcasting out of Arlington, Virginia, because that's where the WAVA studios are. Shh. We have a little secret. When we decided that we were going to say yes to this radio show, we negotiated that while I'll be in traffic, I won't be in traffic. So I have a 2-minute commute from my office to the Real Talk studio right here in Columbia, Maryland. Well, 1 out of 5 attenders that come to Bridgeway Community Church have heard of the church because of the radio show. How many of you heard of the church because of the radio show? So now when you come into the lobby, you'll look left and you'll see Real Talk Live. That'll not only show you where the radio show is, but that whole entire corridor will be a place where people can connect, build, and equip. What I want you to think about is what it feels like not only to see, hey, there's the radio show location, but how does real talk happen at Bridgeway? Real talk about the sermons, real talk about one's life, real talk about one's kids. They can go down that corridor and guess what? They can get their cup of coffee and then they can sit outside or somewhere in that area and enjoy coffee and connection. Well, how will they do it? Well, let's take a look one more time at what the building looks like from the outside. What we're proposing now is something that we like to call street fair. Street fair. With lighting and all, people can go down the corridor of the Real Talk area, and that wall will open up with roll-up doors. They can walk outside and sit in a cafe sort of area on the outside, and we'd utilize all that space that has those big crepe myrtles and where the fountain used to be, push all that out and make it an outdoor area so that we can have the brightness of the outdoors, but also the air quality so we're not all stuck inside, especially during the wonderful months around here of spring and summer and fall. And so street fair is an area where we're really excited. And not only are we excited that people can sit outside, come from the Real Talk area and have connections and conversations, But on top of all that, you'll notice the front look of the building now. We're envisioning 2 pools on each side of the front. So then when you're walking into the building, it's as if you're crossing a bridge coming into a place that says, welcome home, welcome to church. This is Bridgeway, and you made it. Isn't that awesome? We're hoping that the pool will be deep enough so we can even do baptisms right out front of the church building. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Now, I've taken you from the outside to the inside, but I've saved the best for last. Well, all of it's really good, but here's the thing. We want to make sure that we have something we've never had before, but we've really wanted to, and that is a chapel. It's going to be called the Gracism Chapel. When you walk down the corridor of the Real Talk Live section of the building, what used to be this, that's where the 4th and the 5th graders meet right now. See that picture? Of course, things are all stacked up in there, but this is where the 4th and the 5th graders would meet. Now we clean all that out, and it's going to look like this. This is a new Gracism Chapel. This will be a self-contained area where 150 people can come for weddings, funerals, and other gatherings. And as you look out the windows, you can see that it bleeds off into an outdoor courtyard. And you push forward into the grassy tree knoll and make that a small amphitheater. With bathrooms and everything, this section of the building can be self-contained. So even if the community is using it or someone's using it for a funeral or a wedding, we don't have to light up the entire 60,000 square foot building that we have. I'm so excited because this is a place that we're going to be able to connect with our community, our culture, and our world for Jesus Christ. I love the way this looks even at night when we light it all up. You know, you come onto the campus, you see Bridgeway Community Church, but at the same time, you can have street fair where people are connecting. You can have a big open lobby. People can go get food. They can drop their kids off. They can go to the Gracism Chapel. Whatever it is, we're going to enhance all that we have in order to connect, build, and equip. Now, before I pray and go into the rest of the message, I wanted to just share this with you so you could see what we were thinking. And you're probably asking the question, how much will this cost? Well, let me tell you straight up, $5 million. That's what it's going to take. We're going to break it into 2 phases. Phase 1, $2,500,000. Phase 2, $2,500,000. Now, here's the trip thing. Because of your generosity and because of our stewardship of that generosity, we already have $2 million in cash. So all we need to do is raise another $500,000. Yep, that's it. $500,000 by Christmas. We start in the new year and it's debt-free. Done. Just like that. And by next summer, the inside's done. By the time you come back from COVID, we're going to have to navigate, depending on when we come back. I'm thinking maybe sometime in February, maybe March. In March, it will have been 1 year. It's been 36 weeks since we've been in this building. So now that we've done, since we've not been in this building. So now that we've done all of this architectural engineering work, if you will give on Christmas Sunday, the Sunday, December the 20th, I believe it is, if you will give your best gift after praying to the Lord, you give your best gift, we raise that $500,000, we step into 2021 debt-free for phase 1. That's killer. You want to know why that's killer? Because how do you just drop $2 million and say, get started? Because of God's faithfulness. Because of your faithfulness. Every $50 you give, every $100 you give, every $1,000 you give, $10,000, $100,000, whatever you give to the Lord, we take those pennies and those dollars and we match them together and then we put them in different funds and we try our best not only to operate the ministry faithfully and to make sure that everything is being taken care of so far as ministering to our community and to our staff and making sure that you're getting broadcasts like this, which is not cheap, but we invest thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars into the kinds of equipment where we can be in your home right now. But the reason we're able to do that is because at the end of the service, you'll go online and you will give your money and we'll take that money and we'll say, God, multiply that money. And he has. We've paid our bills and we still have $2 million in order to say, now let's go do this for the next several years. I want to thank Tim Samuel. I want to thank Frank Eastham. I want to thank our board of elders, our Elders Council of Women. I want to thank our management leaders and all of our staff for being such good stewards. You should be proud of your church. By next summer, you should have the whole phase 1 done. And that's on the inside. You got to do the inside first. You don't want to do the outside, then move to the inside. Got to do the inside first. Let's get that done. And then we'll move to the outside. You know what? If we have the other 2.5 million, if we get up on that, then it can be done by the next summer in 1 year afterwards. And then I can just imagine in the summer of 2022 sitting out there having a cup of coffee with some of y'all right out there with Street Fair. So there you have it. I wanted to give you this information. You can go to bridgeway.cc/future if you want to start giving now, or hopefully by December 20th, if you'll just pray about it, maybe God will lay in your spirit what you can give to this campaign. All right?